Representative Cramer.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and thank you, witnesses, for being with us today, and of course for your service. You know, I come from Bakken, Dakota. I represent the entire rectangle of North Dakota. And right now we have about 20,000 job openings that we know of and that they'll admit to, all of them very high-paying jobs. We have a number of veterans, and I'm pretty convinced from today's testimony that convincing the employers is probably the easy part, at least once they get one or two, right, Mr. Nash? I'm pleased that one of the members of my Veterans Advisory Board is Clint Romachet, the Medal of Honor recipient who works for KS Industries, great spokesperson both for the industry and certainly for veterans. My question would be, for all of you, would be, could you help us as Congress think about what we might do? Is there anything legislatively that would help connect? Because, again, I think the industry is hungry enough for the worker. The question then becomes, is there something on the other side of the supply side that we can be doing to make that transition easier?
So a quick note on that. When this meeting's concluded, I'm going to meet with Senator Begich about an issue that's probably in the Veterans Affairs Committee arena. But one of the challenges we have right now in the skilled trade arena is how the GI Bill is calculated and utilized for payment. It's pretty complicated when you're attending a university. It's pretty clear-cut. When you go to an 8-week course for skilled trade, you consume your monthly benefits based on a value versus a time. So for about every $1,500 of expenditure, you use 1 month of your GI Bill benefits. So if you go through a 16-week course, as some of the courses are for skilled trade development, you've used and consumed a lot of your GI benefit available to you because these courses are expensive. You might spend $10,000 at a 8-week course, which is going to prepare you for a really great job, but it's going to consume a lot of your benefit. At the same time, you're also losing some housing benefits while you're going through that process. So we're not lending ourselves to help the transition in the skilled trade arena as much as we could.
Excellent. Anybody else? Mr. Matt?
Yes, sir. I definitely want to echo what Mr. Smith said. He mentioned earlier that his employees need to have a CDL. If there was a program, like you mentioned, this 6 weeks training program, if we had some type of a reverse boot camp almost, the military does a great job about taking a civilian and preparing them to be in the military. It can be 8 weeks to 2 years of training, but when it's time to leave, they get, here's how to write a resume. You know, if you're interested in starting your own business, we'll give you a class or two. But if we could partner with some of those companies that will train them to get their CDL while they're still on active duty, while they're out processing, I would hire 500 this year if I had these same candidates with a CDL anywhere in the United States. 500 of them. So the CDL, and then just like what Mr. Smith said, using those benefits is such a pain right now. If you're a traditional college student, it can work pretty well. But no, not if you need to pay $10,000 for 16 weeks.
I'd like to give you guys a really quick stat to think about how important this really is. So in 2013, 74 veterans came through Northern Industrial Training for their CDLs. Okay, utilizing GI benefits, bill benefits, or rehab funds. 9 are still awaiting discharge. However, of the ones who've been discharged through the program, 33 went to work directly for oil and gas extraction, 18 for Alaska trucking companies, 10 in construction, with a median income starting wages of $74,000 for those graduates. And all it required was a CDL, hazmat, and tanker endorsement.
Well, they could make half that if they'd go to a university.
Yeah, to go off of what Mr. Nash and Mr. Smith both said, that's one of the things that we've seen was a definite barrier for us, and we feel that by getting in that transitioning period and providing them the training before they transition out, it helps out a lot with the issue of the GI Bill and things like that, because we don't want to see them use up that GI Bill for housing and everything. You know, let them utilize that during that transition period. So I agree with both comments made that it's definitely something, and I think a key is getting to the service members in that transitioning period before they're out to help them prepare for when they have completed their service.
Sounds like a good deal for the veteran, a good deal for the economy, and a good deal for the taxpayer. I love it when we all agree, Mr. Chairman. Yeah. Thank you. I yield back.